You guys like it? Yeah! And I'm going to bring back on stage Eli Craig, as well as writer Connor Cornfield, Adam Cesare. Here comes your beer.
Oh, right.
Cheers, we did a movie. Try this thing.
All right.
Nerve-wracking for me.
Let's start with, since we have Adam here, let's talk a little bit about adaptation. Obviously, this story is kind of suited to be cinematic. Were you thinking that when you were writing it? Were you, what's the process like between the two of you?
I mean, between the two of us,
Wait, you don't have a mic?
We only have two here.
I just love, I love being in places like this, at festivals like this, because I absolutely love movies, and I adore movies, and I find, I was writing books for 10 or so years, publishing in the small press and the medium press, before Clown of Cornfield, and I was teaching at the time, because, I was an English teacher. And
He's actually 65 years
old.
old.
Yeah, I'm not. It's all like rejuvenation surgery. I took the substance. And, but like, I looked at the kids around me, at the teenagers, and who I was spending day in, day out with, and I was like, I should write something they can read. And slashers are the perfect medium for that. They're endemically, we have some amazing slasher novels now, but it's almost like kind of a new phenomenon. People like Steve Grant Jones, and I wanted to write a book that reflected slashers in a poppy literary sense that would get kids into reading, because they're teen books for those that don't know, and the movie's very rated R, which is kind of what the books are, which is awesome. Just if you're gonna go again, please go again. You see teenagers milling outside the theaters, please.
Please buy him a ticket.
Yeah, they're your kids now.
And say they can sneak in the back.
I'm so sorry. This is the worst answer to your question. It wasn't really an answer.
I was curious about adapting the book into.
You got to talk to him about that.
Oh yeah. Well, it was a very cinematic book, and it just felt like it was begging to be adapted. And I think it was ultimately when all the multiple friendos show up. I was like, I gotta write that scene, and then see where everything goes. And then
so well.
And then I just thought, it's Clown in a Cornfield, and the themes you brought were so deep, right? Like the thematic part about the generations, the divide, the baby boomers ruining our lives. That was all Adam, and I completely embraced it. I was like, that generation is fucked up. They're kind of, let's go after that generation. And then I just thought, I love humor with a bit of horror, and I don't want to run the same place all the time. And I think with Tucker and Dale versus Evil, I found it very hard to figure out what I was going to do next. I ended up doing a film called Little Evil that was very, very on the comedic side. But I love action movies. I'm almost more of an action movie guy than a horror movie guy. Don't hate me. No, I love them all, but I like suspense and action, and so I thought that I could really sink my chops into the action part of this, and keep the humor part. And then I just wanted to be as true to the book as possible, because stay true to the theme, stay true to Rustin Cole, and try to give the best reveal I can to Rustin Cole.
That's my favorite part. I like to say it because I didn't write or direct. You co-wrote with Carter Blanchard, and I just love the casting of the kid. I just think that's such a. I'm sure it was a little bit of luck and a little bit of skill, but
no,
I just love.
Luck.
I love.
There is no luck.
Yeah, well, skill.
There's luck.
But
It's
I
either
think
Phil
when they auditioned, and they're just so great. I love the kids so much.
They're all Canadians, including me, so it was a very Canadian endeavor.
All right, talk shit about America.
Don't hate. Goddamn America, what's going on here?
It's such an American story. It's
It
a
is.
curious thing for me.
Yeah.
What did you ever consider resetting it, or were you just like?
In Canada? Hell no. Jesus. We had to shoot in Canada. That was hard enough. But I'm American. I was born in Los Angeles, so I'm American through and through. I just live in Canada.
Okay.
But just getting back to Rustin Cole, it was Is that the first horror movie, like slasher horror movie, where two guys kiss ever? Does anybody know of one?
No, there's a billion queer slashers, but
No, I'm talking like Clowns in a Cornfield type slasher.
That's
Okay.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Don't claim superlatives, but it's a great one.
All right. I wanted to just kind of like embrace that moment of it. Yeah. Here, I'll give you.
I'm just going to open it up to the audience. Does anybody have any questions? Let's start over here.
There's a bunch of great lines, but one of the best is definitely, "I hate you," and then the dead clown saying, "Me too." I wonder in the book if that was an ad lib, what was, or in the script.
So the question was about the line, "I hate you" and "Me too." Was it in the book? Was it an ad lib?
Well, no.
All the funny stuff is you.
Yeah,
the books have a different tone, and that's what I love about this movie is that they can be a different thing, and it's an expression of Eli as a director and what your vision. It just makes me so happy. And that's the question.
Oh, thank you. I love that line too. Thank you. It sort of encapsulates Janet for me, and Frendo at the same time. And it's the first time Frendo is killed, and Katie kind of rises to the occasion, or Quinn rises to the occasion for that. And I don't know where it came from. My lines, that's just something that comes to me. And I'm good with dialogue. Like Tucker and Dale too, there's just some lines that like, I don't know where they come from, but I laugh my butt off too. So thank you.
Gotta get high on your own supply.
Yeah.
So this movie was tremendous. I enjoyed it a lot. And one of the things I found really interesting was that, the main group of characters is sort of amateur filmmakers doing YouTube and all that. So they're aware of, meta, like, oh, this head is a casting. And in Tucker and Dale, you're also deconstructing these like meta like tropes of horror filmmaking. Is it more difficult after Tucker and Dale to sort of do this sort of meta play on genre?
So the question was about the meta play on genre, and is it more difficult kind of after Tucker and Dale to do that for you?
Well, only when you're comparing the two, so thank you for that.
Okay.
I think the part that's more difficult is I'm always like, does this live up to that? And then having to divorce myself from like comparing the two, because this is a very different film. And just, honoring the material. Like, the film is its own person, it's its own thing. And so when you're making a movie, it's like raising a child. You don't fully own everything that it is. You're trying to encourage it to be 100% itself. And you just kind of, there's areas where, I did wonder about that. I thought there were areas where this kind of is similar to Tucker and Dale, but I needed it too, because the comedy in the second half would not have worked, and the decapitated head moment would never have worked if you weren't buying into that meta, that they're fully embracing the filmmaking of the horror. Thanks for that question. That was a great question.
So the kills that are on screen are obviously like big setups. Adam said in his novel that one of his favorite kills was a setup where a car, sets up and crushes a character's skull. It's different in the book, so I didn't want to say specifically, but I wanted to ask you what was your favorite kill in the novel that when you read the novel.
Yeah,
Just repeat it because I can't.
Yeah, right.
Favorite kill, because another thing, not to keep kissing your ass, another thing that I love about this film is that it keeps the characters and it keeps the story like the same from the book, but it just swaps out all the kills. So like it's infinitely, you can reread the books if you haven't read the books, and you won't be spoiled on the thing. So I really do like that. And this is TJ, right?
Yeah.
TJ had asked this question at the signing before, like what my favorite kill from the book was. And he's putting you on the spot for your favorite kill in my book.
I honestly, here's what I will say. The one area that I really wished I could fit in, but I think we did it justice without it. But I loved Dr. Maybrook being in the corn and being buried inside the silo and like basically drowning in corn.
It's all rotting too,
And
and he's in there with a dead body.
Yeah,
and
and
a mouse
that
jumps out of the dead body's mouth.
and that was great too. That the guy whose house that was,
I have my own
the previous doctor, is dead like in that silo. And so I tried to insinuate that like, did he die in here? There's all these things you can't really get to in a movie, and time, all these things. But so I needed Dr. Maybrook to be in one spot, so I chose he's a doctor, and I tried to use that storyline that he was operating on the friendos, and keep tracking him, not lose track of him. But I did have to lose some of the storylines.
You're gonna want to leave that in is probably my favorite line in the movie.
Which one?
Well, you're gonna want to leave that in. When he like,
Oh,
I think that's funny.
Yeah. Fuck the Hippocratic Oath.
Yeah.
That's.
Right here.
On the topic of kills, was there ever any conversation or push to make it PG-13 instead of R, or did you tone down any scenes?
Well, did I tone anything down from
The
this?
question was, it's an R-rated movie, but was it ever PG-13, or was there a conversation around it?
Yeah. So I mean, the fortunate thing about this is it was a pretty indie film, and when it got handed off to me, it was really just me in the corn shooting it, and so with my own mind, no, I was going hard R,
Hell yeah.
and I think that came a little bit from Tucker and Dale being my first film, and then Little Evil, and even myself being like, I needed better kills than Little Evil. So by the time this film came around, I was just revved up to do the coolest possible kills every time. And I knew that Ronnie kill, for me, my favorite here in the film is just Ronnie running through the corn where the chainsaw comes on, because it's so sudden and gory and awful, but somehow kind of funny too. Is it funny too?
Yeah.
I like it. It's a great shock. It looks like ballet. I love it. And then you add that mean little part where he just starts sawing it around the ground, which I was like, that's almost a little too mean. But I like it.
Yeah, I have a kind of a tender heart too, so I don't know, I love my characters, but I try to have fun with all of it. I mean, I'm kind of like, I'm genuinely having such a good time shooting this stuff. I love it so much that some of that hopefully comes across on the screen.
Good time for a couple more right here.
Is there going to be like a sequel, like follow-up to that film?
Hell yeah, good question.
No, I one and done, baby. Go see this film.
He asked if it was a sequel. Yeah, we're gonna protect the sanctity of it. It's only gonna be one film. No.
It's really, honestly, all sequels are dependent on how a film does. I mean, that's just the bottom line.
So tell everyone you know. Go see
Please,
it.
can I ask how old you are, buddy?
I'll be 13 tomorrow.
Hell yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
are you-
yeah.
Are you traumatized?
A lot
Are you
of
okay?
there.
He's gonna
He's
be
good.
13 tomorrow.
Okay.
There are YA books, which young adults, and it's YA, but I see a lot of A's in the audience, and you're Y, so thank you.
Happy birthday!
Yeah.
Happy birthday!
Thank you for coming.
Right here.
Hi, I just noticed, I saw Ick yesterday, and there were a lot of similarities in
Oh,
kind
wow.
of the idea of, generations that are kind of refusing to acknowledge that they're being aged out of. And I guess, I don't exactly know how old you are, Adam, but you don't seem quite the younger generation or the older generation.
Oh, thank you. I seem comfortably middle-aged. Was it the Crocs?
What was the question?
My question was, did you find it challenging writing dialogue for generations that you aren't necessarily a part of?
Well, we could both talk to this, but I'll talk book-wise. And okay, so the question was like writing dialogue for young people, and I think the book very different dialogue because you wrote your dialogue, but I think it all comes from a general attitude, and I was teaching at a failing school when I was drafting the first Clowns of Cornfield, so I was surrounded by kids every day, and the kids that Philly kids, or the words that Philly kids say, like, would not have fit the kids of Kettle Springs. I wasn't going to steal their slang, which is almost too horrific to repeat here. But I do think it's more of a general attitude when I write YA. And it's the idea of trying to stay young. Like, as you said, I am a middle-aged person, but I'm also on TikTok. I think there is, I do a conscious effort to try to stay up on things, not necessarily, because publishing takes a very long time, so by the time you write something in a book, and if it sounds contemporary then, it's gonna sound dated because it takes fucking forever for books to come out. So I just try to stay as natural as possible without going too much into like the kids don't say Riz in the book, like things like that. So I think Eli took a similar tack.
Well, while you were teaching kids, I was having kids, and so I've had a few of these little guys, and I have an 18-year-old. In fact, my 18-year-old got shot in the head with a bow. It wasn't he? I killed him. He was 17 years old at the time, and he was the DJ. And so I learned so much from my kids, and I like to think of myself as being youthful myself, but not maybe as much anymore. But you do learn. Oh, look at that look. He's like, oh, buddy, how are we gonna break it to him? Yeah, but and then the dialogue to me, you just don't condescend. You're not like really changing the dialogue to try to like sound younger or something. You're just trying to write real people. And the actors own a lot of it too. They kind of bring the words to life and make it seem very real. And I think I was blessed with just an amazing cast here. That really, everything seemed genuine and authentic, and that's really important for me.
I think we have time for one more. Is anybody right over here?
Hello. How do you balance? Do you have kids or just you?
My little girl turns 3 tomorrow. Hey! Hell yeah! And she's the best. And yeah, I do. And I'm really tired all the time.
My question is, how do you balance parenthood with being in the industry?
Oh boy.
The question was how you balance parenthood with being in the industry.
I don't. I'm not in the industry. I'm a parent. And then when I do get to, no, I mean, here's the thing. Like, honestly, parenting was my priority for a long time. And I get to write scripts too. And I've been hired to write a lot of scripts that died horrible deaths on the vines of Netflix, and every studio really has hired me to write a script that they decided not to make. I'm like, what a great lifestyle. And this is, I just got really fed up of writing and not getting things made and being like, I need to make another movie. But at this point in my life, now I have a 10-year-old and an 18-year-old, and they're both just kind of independent. And my 18-year-old's in my movies. He's helping me write them. It's becomes an amazing thing when you get to share the work that you love with your kids. My 10-year-old has not seen this yet, so he's gonna wait a little bit.
Rub it in, pal. My answer is I owe 3 books, and I'm like 6 months behind on post-editing Climb the Cornfield 4, and I have not done it yet. So that's my answer. Is just like it's parenting's more important. So I don't work as much as I want to, and as people who pay me want to.
You don't work as much as they want you to.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, we got to wrap up, but I want to thank you guys so much for coming and doing this.
Thank you all. That was so much fun. Thank you guys.
Yeah, I'm on a panel tomorrow. Please come.
Thank you for coming, you guys. It means the world to me. Thank you.